Nvidia just dropped a bombshell on the AI world and almost nobody saw it coming. At first, it sounded impossible, too risky, too insane, the kind of rumor you laugh at and move on. But no, it's real. Deadly real. Here's the headline. Nvidia has agreed to spend $6.3 billion, not on new GPUs, not on shiny products, but on something far stranger. They're buying cloud power, unused servers, from a company most people have never even heard of. And this deal, it doesn't expire in a year or two. It's locked in until 2032, nearly a decade of guaranteed control. Why? Why would the world's most powerful AI company throw billions into such a risky, secretive move? Because this isn't about servers, it's about control, pure, absolute control. If Nvidia pulls this off, every AI model, every breakthrough, every future invention may end up flowing through their hands. But if they fail, that $6 billion safety net could snap back into a billion-dollar trap. And that is where the real story begins. So here's the reveal. The company Nvidia just bet $6.3 billion on is called CoreWeave. Most people had never even heard the name before. A tiny startup compared to giants like Google Cloud or Amazon Web Services. But hidden in the shadows, CoreWeave had something nobody else dared to gamble on. Excess. Infrastructure sitting quietly in the background. Thousands of high-powered GPUs, untapped cloud servers, a digital gold mine waiting to be claimed, and Nvidia, they didn't just rent a slice of it, they locked the whole thing down. A deal so massive, so long-term. It doesn't just whisper confidence, it screams dominance. Because think about it. While other companies were burning billions to build new data centers, fighting construction delays, battling supply chains, Nvidia skipped the line. They went straight for the shortcut. Overnight, they gained access to a massive cloud backbone. No waiting, no construction, just raw, instant power. And here's the part that shocked insiders. This wasn't a 2-year experiment. It wasn't even 5. Nvidia signed until 2032, a nearly decade-long handshake. Why would they lock themselves in for so long? Because they weren't buying cloud space. They were buying time. Time to reshape the battlefield. Time to outmaneuver every rival before they even saw the attack coming. And that is why this revelation changes everything. Now this is where the world stops and takes notice. Nvidia wasn't supposed to do this. For years, they played the perfect role. The king of hardware. The chipmaker everyone depended on. Their GPUs powered AI, gaming, research, you name it, but they stayed in the background, safe, profitable, untouchable. Until now, $6.3 billion, CoreWeave. A decade-long deal. Overnight, Nvidia transformed from a supplier to a gatekeeper. And that's the shock. Because the cloud, it was never theirs to touch. Google, Microsoft, Amazon. Titans with global reach, endless resources, armies of engineers. They built the infrastructure that ran the world's AI. And Nvidia just barged in silently, quietly, and completely. By locking in CoreWeave, Nvidia isn't renting servers. They're controlling access. Every AI lab, every startup, every project that needs high-powered GPUs could soon be running on Nvidia's terms. That flips the entire game. Now Nvidia isn't just making chips. They're influencing pricing. They're deciding who gets compute and who waits. They can slow down competitors without ever firing a shot. And here's the kicker. They pulled it off without headlines, without a flashy press conference. Just a whisper in the market that rewrote the rules overnight. This isn't just a business move. It's a silent coup. And if Nvidia is right, the next decade of AI won't just run on their chips. It will run through them. But if they misstep, the consequences could be catastrophic. And that is where the real story gets dangerous. But here's the part almost nobody noticed. This deal isn't just about servers. It's about control, pure, quiet, devastating control. See, Nvidia has always been strong at one thing, building GPUs. But once those chips left their hands, the cloud giants, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, decided how they were used. Nvidia profited, yes, but they never controlled the battlefield until now. CoreWeave is more than idle servers. It's a pipeline, a channel. Every startup, every lab, every AI model needing compute flows through it. And that means every dollar, every innovation, every breakthrough passes through Nvidia's hands first. It's like chess, and Nvidia just moved its queen into the center. Every move the rivals make runs through them. The genius. They didn't buy CoreWeave outright. That would trigger alarms, regulators, lawsuits. Instead, they locked in a decade-long deal. Enough control to dominate without owning the company fully. Subtle, quiet, and deadly. Because now Nvidia doesn't just sell tools. They own the ground everyone is digging on. Every AI breakthrough, every cloud-based revolution. And that advantage, hidden from the world until now, if they succeed, Nvidia becomes untouchable. If they fail, this quiet power grab could become a disaster no one saw coming. And that is where the stakes get real. So what does this deal actually mean for the world? Think about every AI breakthrough you've seen recently. ChatGPT rewriting essays, Mid-Journey painting entire worlds, startups building copilots for doctor, engineers, lawyers, all powered by raw GPU energy. And Nvidia, they just made sure they control where that energy flows. CoreWeave isn't a small playground. It's a launch pad. Every AI project needing serious compute, from universities to billion-dollar labs, may soon run through Nvidia's pipeline. Imagine it. Hospitals training life-saving AI, financial firms modeling trillions in seconds, governments simulating defense systems, all potentially funneled through Nvidia's infrastructure. This isn't just business, it's influence, real power, and the ripple effect, enormous. Startups may live or die based on Nvidia's access. Universities may bend to pricing and availability. Even governments may find themselves negotiating with a private company for access to intelligence itself. This deal isn't just about servers. It's a chokehold on the future, and the question hanging over everyone: can anyone compete if Nvidia controls the very backbone of AI? But here's the part nobody wants to admit. This $6.3 billion bet could backfire in ways that would shock the industry. Locking yourself into a decade-long deal in an industry that reinvents itself every 6 months is dangerous. Today's cutting-edge servers could be tomorrow's outdated relics. One breakthrough in quantum computing, one competitor with a faster architecture, and Nvidia is stuck holding billions in obsolete hardware. And that's just the start. By tying itself so tightly to CoreWeave, Nvidia steps into a world it doesn't fully control. Regulators are already circling big tech, hunting monopolies, probing antitrust violations. If Nvidia is seen not just as a chipmaker but as a cloud overlord, the legal hammer could drop hard. Then comes the competition: Google, Microsoft, Amazon. Titans with bottomless pockets, global reach, and armies of engineers. They won't sit quietly while Nvidia muscles into their territory. Price wars, exclusive contracts, even political pressure. Nvidia could find itself in a war it didn't want and can't afford. And perhaps the scariest risk: overreach. Demand slows, supply chains crack, rivals launch faster, cheaper GPUs. Suddenly, this $6 billion safety net flips into a billion-dollar trap. Because in the end, a bet that should have been a fortress can become a noose. And that is why the next battle isn't just about servers, it's about survival. And now the battlefield comes into focus. The cloud wars, the ultimate showdown nobody saw coming. On one side, the established titans, Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, companies that dominate the infrastructure of the internet, armies of engineers, billions in budgets, a global reach that seems untouchable. On the other side, Nvidia, once the quiet king of GPUs, now stepping boldly onto the battlefield. Not just supplying tools, but controlling access to the very terrain where AI is built. It's a collision of power and ambition. Think about it. Microsoft is tied to OpenAI. Amazon powers Anthropic. Google fuels DeepMind. Each has AI champions ready to fight for supremacy, but all of them rely on Nvidia's chips. And now Nvidia says, "Why rent from us when you can use our servers instead?" Suddenly, the suppliers become competitors. The rules of the game are rewritten overnight. Price wars, exclusive deals, supply bottlenecks, and hidden leverage that only Nvidia controls. This isn't about selling servers anymore. It's about deciding who thrives and who struggles. Every move matters. Every decision could reshape the AI world. And one thing is clear: when Nvidia is in the fight, nothing will ever be the same. The next decade of AI will be a war zone, and the question hanging over everyone: who will control the future, and who will be left behind? But here's the part almost nobody is talking about. This deal isn't really about CoreWeave, or servers, or even GPUs. It's about time. Nvidia knows the AI boom won't last forever. Competitors are waiting. Technology evolves in months, not years. Moore's law is bending. New architectures are rising, and Nvidia, they're betting on securing the decade ahead. This $6.3 billion deal, it's insurance, a shield, a moat around the kingdom of AI. They didn't just buy cloud space. They bought control over the gates of innovation. Every startup, every lab, every AI breakthrough needing serious compute now passes through Nvidia's hands first. It's subtle, quiet, invisible to most, but devastatingly powerful. And that's why this move is so brilliant and dangerous. Because Nvidia isn't just thinking about profits, they're thinking about dominance, influence, the kind of leverage that shapes an entire industry before anyone even realizes it. The untold truth: Nvidia isn't just building infrastructure, they're building empires. And in the next section, we'll explore what this could mean for the future. So what happens next? If Nvidia's gamble pays off, the future could look very different. Every major AI model, every cloud platform, every breakthrough could run through Nvidia's ecosystem. A single company quietly controlling the flow of intelligence. Imagine the power. Every innovation, every startup, every lab dependent on Nvidia's pipelines. Pricing, access, availability. They could subtly shape the direction of AI without writing a single line of code. But if it fails, the consequences could be catastrophic. $6 billion could vanish. Rivals could pounce. Competitors like Google, Microsoft, and Amazon could crush Nvidia's market advantage. CoreWeave could falter. And the king of GPUs could suddenly be vulnerable. The stakes are enormous. By 2027-2028, we'll see if this bold, decade-long bet was genius or a historic misstep. The AI arms race is moving faster than ever. Every breakthrough, every announcement, every new model could tip the scales. And Nvidia, they've thrown down the gauntlet. The next decade won't just be about AI, it will be about who controls AI. And one question lingers in every corner of tech: who will rise and who will fall? So let's bring it all together. Nvidia, the quiet chipmaker that powered video games, research labs, and AI breakthroughs, just made a move that could reshape the entire industry. $6.3 billion. CoreWeave, a decade-long deal. They didn't just buy servers. They didn't just invest in infrastructure. They bought control, influence, access, a hidden leverage that could shape the flow of intelligence worldwide. And in doing so, they've declared war on the biggest tech companies on the planet. Amazon, Google, Microsoft, titans with armies of engineers, billions in budgets, and global reach. It's bold, risky, historic. If Nvidia succeeds, the future won't just run on AI, it will run on Nvidia. If they fail, the $6 billion bet could become a billion-dollar trap. Rivals will strike, competitors will pounce, and the once untouchable king of GPUs could find itself vulnerable. Either way, the story isn't over. This deal, this move, this silent coup in the AI world, it's just the beginning. And the question everyone is asking, who will control the next decade of intelligence? Who will shape the AI revolution? And who will be left behind?